Well, so like I say, it's the first of the series that I've overall dubbed the yarn spun from the lore of Upranos, which is basically me. A lot of my work is satirical as well. So that overly flowery title is also just a kind of a poke at, you know, the kind of name that book series give themselves at times,
Yeah,
like the such and such chronicles or whatever.
yeah,
Um, so basically, this is the opening story of a handful of characters who have come from different backgrounds, finding themselves lumped together, who are finding themselves in a world which is undergoing quite quite major religious and political upheaval. But they're kind of just also kind of bumbling along, doing their kind of their own thing while the world's kind of burning around them. And it's very, for me, like the writing and the book is kind of very character focused. You've got all these
yeah.
events going on around them, but they're kind of secondary to the individual characters. Basically, uh, it's one of those found family kind of events, but it's
Yep.
also like it's kind of like it's a real found family where you don't actually like each other very much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of they're forging together as a
Yeah.
unit. You've got Stan Wilt, who is a ex commander of the King's First, which is basically the monarch's personal guard. He's been disgraced and sent to this backwater town called Pepley Shaw to basically be the command or the captain of the local town watch. Who's basically just spent the last 5 years drinking himself into a stupor and regretting past decisions.
Mm.
You've got Brolo, who is a half dwarf, half elf, who is a sarcastic, alcoholic little shit, basically, who yearns for something else in life. He's grown up in Pepley Shaw and resents the small town atmosphere. He faces a lot of not religious, racial sort of gets bullied quite a lot for the fact that he's half a dwarf, half elf.
Yeah.
Neither elves or dwarves or humans
Yeah.
uh, enjoy that very much or like that very much. So he gets he's kind of looking for a way to break out into the world, and he has a lot of bitterness and resentment. And he's being raised by his father. He never knew his father, so he's got the bitterness of that. And his mother had recently died, so he's kind of on his own now and doesn't have
Yeah.
a clear direction. And then you've got Wilhelm, who I mentioned earlier, who is been forced into working in the Pepley Shaw town watch with Brolo and Stanwelt, who is basically his father. Like they has nothing to do with his son. So basically, went here, you go be in the watch and keep yourself out of trouble. And then you've also got Eulonia, who is a young woman who has run away from home, and she is the only daughter of a earl of an area called Stunheath. And basically she's run away, and she finds herself on a trading caravan heading north to an outpost beyond the kingdom's boundaries, and that is where events take the dark turn at the beginning of the book.
Mm.
So I won't reveal
Yeah.
exactly what happens to her, but
Buy the
these,
book.
yeah,
Buy
buy
the
the book
book.
when it's out. Currently not available, but will be available soon. Um, but it's the forging together of these
Yeah.
characters, and
Yeah.
it's really setting up for future events. It's
Yeah.
a lot of world building and setting the
Yeah.
foundations of this very wacky world that I've created.